Welcome back, trainers, and in this video we're going to be taking a look at my shadow collection as we are in a shadow event, and I'm just going to give you a little insight as to what I have going on here. So with that said, let's go ahead and take a look and see what we have going on. We're going to go through my tops, my shiny shadows. Somebody really wants to rub up their engine right now as I'm making this video. Of course they do. And a few others in between here. So with that said, let's go ahead and see what we have going on here, and I'll go ahead and throw up this video right about now. So we're going to start it off with my shiny shadows. Now we're going to start it off with just the highest combat power. This isn't like my favorite or anything. I will say getting a shiny shadow Tyranitar is pretty awesome, I'm not going to lie. And then this Salamence as well. Both of these things are extremely hard hitting, like you wouldn't believe, but the Salamence really can't take a hit, especially with that really crappy defense IV. Unfortunately, we can't raise it right now. That Caesar, not too interested in, is great, but this Lapras is one of my favorites because it is purple. It looks just so good as that shadow. Very happy about this Galarian Weezing here. Performs amazing, and I do believe it's like 40 or nearly 40. This Sharpedo is level 40. Completely maxed out. I have a ton of investment in shadow Pokemon, and if you're thinking, why would you ever do that? Well, look at it. It is a 15, 15, 10. Let's have a little fun with it. I don't give a damn. And then we do have this actually pretty interesting 666 Shadow Mewtwo, which that was the floor for the IVs at the time. I think I'm going to go back in just a second because I was like, let's re-highlight that. And this is the Kyogre that I did get today. I got, that was my first rate, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and remove frustration, right? Make sure you do that with all the shadows that you want. Go through and remove frustration, right? And look at that, freaking 10-7 or 15-10-7, insane. So yeah, this Mewtwo right here is pretty interesting. You know, of course, the 666 and its shadow and it's shiny. It's pretty, you know, wacky. I do have plenty of the shadow Ho-Ohs, or of course I have shadows, but the shiny ones. The Lugia, the Regirock. First one I did was shiny. First one I did of the Regice, shiny. I kid you not, seriously. Then we do have that nice Hypno. We have this nice Muck as well. Nidoking. I do believe that was in Vegas. Yes, I caught that during Vegas. It was the Arlo. Of course, it was going to be the first or the basic stage. And then we have our various different shadows here, shinies, that I haven't really invested in because, you know, the IVs are very kind of wacky sometimes, and you just kind of leave them alone. Let's go ahead and go into what we're going to do here, and 4-star. So I have no 100% shadows. Now, I do have a couple of 98s, but I have never had any luck with any of those. We will take a look at a 0 IV that I do have. So that's probably rarer than a 100%. But taking a look at my top IV shadow Pokemon, Mewtwo's obviously going to be king. All right, amongst the shadows. The thing is crazy. I love my shadow Garchomp. Thing is absolutely amazing. I have very good luck with shadow Gibble IVs. I don't know what it is. Powered up this horrible IV Groudon. Do I regret it? Not whatsoever. The thing's crazy good, okay? Love my Shadow Metagross. This one is completely maxed out, I do believe. And I have several others that are maxed out. Shadow Lugia, beautiful. Love that thing. If you have a Apex, I'd go with that, of course. Shadow Rhyperior, beautiful. Everything that I have invested in here that is powered up to this degree, I'm very happy with. So I haven't powered up the other Metagross to level 50 because that's very expensive because they do cost more. Like my Shadow Dragonite, don't really use it too much anymore. Shadow Mamoswine, great. But when it comes to Shadow Conkeldurr, I really like this Pokemon. I used it in the main series games, in the tournaments. Really enjoyed it. Shadow Moltres, always great. Shadow Excadrill, I'm a fan of this thing completely through and through. I just love Excadrill. It's a great Pokemon. I've had my Shadow Snorlax for a while now, and I couldn't be happier with it. The thing performs amazing when I use it. Shadow Gardevoir, absolutely beautiful, does tons of damage. And then we do have this Apex here, which I have invested in, but I haven't powered it up all the way. I still need more candies. That's going to be a good one. Shadow Machamp, such a great investment. Of course, Rampardos does a ton, and then we do have my Shadow Staraptor. I need to speed it up here. I'm getting a little lost here. Swampert, fun. A lot of these were experiments, just having a little fun with it. Look at that Gramble. Look at that. We're going to go back to it. Look at this. 15, 14, 15. Absolutely beautiful. Absolutely amazing. And I completely maxed it out. Does great up against Dragon Raids. I powered up that Blaziken right before I went to Hawaii. Spur of the moment. Was it a good idea? Not so much, but whatever. I already did it, and we're here. Moving it on. Now we're getting into like Great League Pokemon, okay? So these aren't obviously completely maxed out. These are for PvP. And there's my Giratina if you didn't see my last one. So it's a 14, 13, whatever you just saw there. Not looking so hot. That's okay. Glade, Muck, love my Feraligatr, love my Obstagoon. Thing is absolutely amazing. The Sneasler, pretty squishy. Caesar, okay. And a lot of these Pokemon are just getting kind of slept on. They have their positions, but it's just very hard to use a lot of them. Gengar, great. Nidoqueen, great. This one right here is level 50. So Hitmonchan, I've actually completely maxed this thing out, and it can put in the work. But again, a lot of these things are kind of just to show you what they can do. It's not like you should do it yourself because it's extremely expensive and can break the bank. I just want you to see, here's another 98, the Victory Bell. So I have a couple of 98s here. Would love a great Typhlosion shiny now. Zapdos, don't care. Ursaluna, pretty good. Steelix, amazing. Another duplicate. We've seen these already. Regirock, I've used that plenty of times. Shadow Gyarados, actually very good if you play its position correctly. Porygon Z, fun Pokemon. You know, it could be interesting, could be difficult to use, but it's great. Going back to the Ninetales here, the Alolan. This one is level 50 or 49.5, so it just needs one more power up. It's basically 50. Love it. It's been doing great for me here, okay? And just because I don't have some of the Pokemon on here powered up that may or should be powered up because they do great, doesn't mean that they're not good, okay? This is just what I have invested. So I just kind of want you to see what I have going on here so you can kind of, you know, make a decision on maybe what you want to start powering up in the future, okay? And going down the list, it's going to take forever if we go through all of them individually. Cresselia, got that one last summer. I really like that. Another Shadow Obstagoon here. What else are we going to look at that I want to highlight? There's the Gibble or the Garbite. I was looking for that. That was I do believe it was like a 98. 15, 15, 14. Another one. Okay, well, that's the better one. I got it after the one that I initially powered up. And of course, we cannot forget the star of the show, the first mascot, Shadow Mawile here. Absolutely amazing. Kind of getting put to the side from Tinkaton. Actually is doing a lot better now. I really do want to invest in this Shadow Heatran, but I did invest in my regular one recently without thinking. So I got to regain those candies, so I can't wait for that one to come back because that one's going to be a fun one because of all of the fairy roaming around with the Zacian Crown and Zamazenta. A couple of Toxicroak, really fun one here again. Really love Toxicroak. You got to really learn these things though because they take a lot of damage. Yeah, they give out a lot of damage as well, but man, you can get really stuck up in a situation if you don't know what you're doing. I just want to show you my Gibbles. Do you see that? Amazing, right? The first one we showed, amazing. I was looking for that Garbite. It's a great one. I didn't pick it up again. I don't know what the hell. Doesn't really matter. But I've had great odds with that one. I don't know what is going on, but I will not complain. Look at this one. Another one here. All right. And I do have a whole lot of things just sitting around, and I'll let this one just play out. And the reason why I do that is because a lot of times when we do get a new season, things change up. They get new move updates. So it's good to just hold on to things and not quite make them. If it requires an elite charge team, then I'll use it. But I'll wait until that actually happens. So I clicked on that Persian, and that's one of the things. Here's the thing. I've been harping on this since like the beginning of PvP, pretty much. And that's the fact that you can't really have too much fun with something outside of the meta. I would love to power this Persian up. Let's go ahead and see what it's gonna, it's like 225,000. So to bring it up to, I think it's gonna be 1,500 exactly, yep. 224,000 Stardust, not worrying about the candies, but I would really love to do that, but it's not, the algorithm lately is just too dumb. I can't, it's driving me insane. Oh, a skill issue. All right, say it all you want. Here's my 0 IV. Okay, take a look. This is probably like one of the rarest shadows that I do have. But to go back to the algorithm, so I did hop on, let me tell you a little experiment that I was gonna do today. This video is pretty much a wrap here. I think I'm just gonna go legendary. We'll scroll down. But I did go into Go Battle League with my son's account. He doesn't really play. I'm just kind of, it's dormant. I'm just having a little fun with it. And doing Go Battle League so I can get enough candies to invest into the Shadow Giratina, because I got the Shadow Giratina on his account. But my dumbass didn't realize that its combat power was way too high. When I purify, it's going to go way above the Great League. I wanted a purified Great League Giratina, but you need a lower, much lower level trainer to catch that. I love my Cresselia Shadow too. To have it, when you purify it, be low enough that when you trade, that it's still going to stay low. But the problem was, or is, even after that, even if his account was low enough to catch it at that low level and purify it and still be below the Great League, what's going to happen after that is we have a high friendship, so the chances of the IVs to go up are pretty high. So here's a fun tip. I want everybody to be annoyed by Giratina altered in the Great League, because they're complaining, oh, these people, man, especially some of these Great League players, they're so annoying. So how you're gonna get a good altered Giratina purified in the Great League, you're gonna need a pretty low level to go up against Giovanni in the first place, catch it, obviously, very low level, and then purify it, because you can't trade a shadow. And then the person that you're trading it to, you have it'll be better if you have a lower friendship level, so that you can keep its IVs garbage. That's what I did with my shiny Lugia that I first got into the Great League way back in the day, before most people did, which, ooh, I still enjoy having fun with that there. But that's what you're gonna have to do. Trade it, obviously, lower friendship level, and then hopefully the combat level stays low, or it doesn't go lucky or something like that. And you'll be able to have a purified Giratina in the Great League, which is going to cost a lot of mayhem. I have a regular, or I have the Origin Giratina, so I have a lot of fun with that one, but no bueno for this one here, unfortunately. All right, so we are actually going to be going over very quickly the best Shadow Pokemon to power up here, according to Pokebattler, which is a great source to use. So very quickly here, just some of the good Shadow Pokemon to power up as far as raids are concerned, and I guess you could say Master League. So we do have Shadow Groudon, Shadow Mewtwo, Shadow Regigigas, Shadow Tyranitar, Shadow Heatran, Shadow Raikou, and by the way, the Shadow Regigigas says Hidden Power Rock. I don't know about that, but yeah, it really depends, okay? But Regigigas Shadow, if you powered one of those up, definitely, okay? Raikou, another Regigigas, Shadow Rampardos, definitely there for sure. And of course, we're gonna have a ton of Shadow Mewtwo with just different movesets. And then, hey, we have Shadow Salamence there at 13. After there's been already, let's see how many Mewtwo's, 4 already inserted there. So technically it would be up to like 9 or something like that. Then we do have Shadow Garchomp, Shadow Metagross, Shadow Conkeldurr, Shadow Kyogre, Rhyperior, Excadrill, See, I have a lot of these things powered up. I'm telling you, this is why I went for them, because they're absolutely amazing. Even if they do not have like the best IVs, it's still worth powering up. You saw my Groudon. Horrible, still performs absolutely amazing. Could I have better IVs? Yes. Will it come out into the raids like Kyogre and then I'm going to get probably a shiny with better IVs? Probably, but I already have it now. You can only make one primal Groudon at a time, at least have one in that form, right? So followed behind it, if you want another great ground attacker, you have the Groudon Shadow, or I guess you can go Excadrill. Moving it on here, Chandelure. I mean, there's a lot of repeats, okay? Even Shadow Absol looking pretty fire over here, but the thing it can't take a hit whatsoever. But I'm going to close this out here, and I just wanted to let you know just a couple there. Then we do have Dialga, Moltres, and we just have a few more repeats here. And then we have Magnezone, somebody rubbing up their engine. So, like, I don't mind that at all. Honestly, it kind of just gives me a good old summer nostalgia. Like a couple houses over, there's like a group of like street riders who have like tons of awesome cars. Let them do the thing. I don't mind whatsoever. I'm not like old grouchy man yet. Anyway, there you have it, folks. They're my shadow Pokemon that I enjoy. A couple of recommendations, and just giving you a little heads up as to what you maybe want to invest in. And also keep in mind that you're going to be seeing other shadow Pokemon in the future, so you may want to hold on to your candies if you're looking to power them up. And also remember, a lot of these shadows compared to their mega evolutions are doing almost just as much damage, okay? Now, Origin Groudon, compared to Shadow, the Origin is going to be able to stay in battle a lot longer, but it is going to be extremely weak to water, while the Shadow is just going to be like, weak to water. But at the same time, you're also taking more damage. So you got to keep that in mind. But there you go. I'll just leave it at that. Thank you for watching, and I'll be catching you all next time. Take care.
Hostiles approaching the BFG 10,000.
Oh my God. It's him.
They've overrun the lower levels. Corporate says we should let them through.
What? Why?
Hey, who are you? You can't be here. I'm serious, that guy doesn't scare me. I'd like to see him try.